My parents beat me and I turned out okay. But did you really turn out okay? I don't know how many times I've had this conversation with different people, especially from the 70s, 60s, 80s. Most of us, we grew up in an era where corporal punishment was a norm. And because of that, that is how we parented our kids. This was me for a long time. I felt that there was a need to use corporal punishment when disciplining your kids. And I will use myself as an example that this was done to me and I'm okay. It helped me to be committed. It helped me to be organized. It helped me to be focused on where I was going. But as I continue to grow and as I continue to heal and unlearn, I am realizing that being beaten as a child, it took away so many things from me. And not only me, maybe you, it happened to you. I was raised by a single mom and she really, really did her best. But because she was also beaten while growing up, so that is what she continued with me. And I'm ashamed to say that when I had my first child, that is what I did too. Because I felt like it really worked for me and it worked for so many people. But when I went back to school and did my social work degree, and the more I got exposed to other moms and the more I got exposed to gentle parenting, conscious parenting, I realized that there was something wrong with how we saw things. And number one, in a country where gender-based violence is such a huge problem, how do we expect our kids to differentiate between being beaten because your parents say they love you, and when they are adults, they are now abusing their partners because they also love their partners? And I know someone said to me that it is not the same. But the truth is that for a child, if we are saying to them that there are certain cases where violence is expected, they are going to grow up with that mindset. Yes, other people, they can grow up being beaten, but they don't end up abusing their partners. But people are not the same. So if there is a possibility that you busy beating your child can turn them into someone who's going to abuse other kids, other people at a later stage, why are we taking that risk? Number two, we always hear about bullying at schools. Already, some of the cases that we hear about where some kids end up committing suicide because they were being bullied by other kids. We cannot take it lightly, and we cannot think that us beating our kids or screaming at them and swearing at them, we can't say that it is not affecting how they end up treating other kids. Research has been taken, it has been done, where it has proven that kids who are emotionally and physically abused in their homes, they end up bullying other kids. The third one, and this one I've seen, so many of us, we have lost our confidence in how we show up because of the fact that we were raised in environments that did not see who we are. We were raised in environments that silenced our voices. We were raised in environments that made us feel like there is something wrong with us. Hence, we have so many people who are people pleasers. We have people who are seeking approval and love from wrong places because they never received it as young people. And please understand me, I'm not blaming our parents because most of us, they simply did their best with what they had. But we cannot continue using our parents as excuses because there's so much information for us. There is help available if you want to unlearn, if you want to do better. And I know some parents are going to say that their kids do not listen, or you do not know my child, they are such a problem. But the reality is that as much as we will never excuse abuse because of what the victim is doing, the same is true for our kids. And please, I'm the first one to admit, our kids are not angels, but so are we. We are not angels. We make mistakes, but we expect to be forgiven. I make mistakes. I don't expect my husband to beat me. I expect him to give me grace. So why do we feel that as a society, the only way for us to teach our kids right and wrong is through beating them? There has to be better solution. And I'm the first one to admit that it is not easy. I've already admitted that this was the method I used. And it takes a lot of unlearning for me to not go back there. And I usually say that beating your child is the lazy and the easiest way out. Because, remaining calm when you feel everything is saying, just hold that child and show them who you are. Choosing to walk away, choosing not to say harmful words, it takes so much strength than for you to start screaming, lashing out, or for you to throw them with whatever you have on hand. And my other reason is that I don't want to end up being in jail. And I don't want to end up burying my child because I'm the one who beat them to death. And not because I wanted to kill them, but because I was so angry that I could not control myself. There has to be better solutions. We cannot keep on doing things that were done to us and justifying them as we turned out okay, while the reality and the truth is that most of us are not okay because of the kind of childhood we had. I know that this is not an easy one, but I hope you will hear my heart and you will understand what I'm saying. Beating your child, hitting your child, it can never be right, irrespective of what they have done. And if that is something that you have been doing, it is never too late to unlearn and to find better ways of communicating, teaching, and loving your kids. The both of you deserve it. Because even after you beat them, it's not like you feel better. You feel miserable. So, yeah, you deserve better than that. Thank you so much for watching until so far. Please, I would really appreciate it if you can share this video with someone that you know or someone you believe that they need this message. Let's talk about these hard topics so that things can be better for our kids and for us. Thank you.